Welcome to the Autism on the Seas Special Vacation Podcast. This is your host, Lisa Caslin, and I'm really excited today. We're not talking to a guest. We're actually talking to one of our favorite staffers. Her name is Allison Ariemma, and she's from Jersey. She's actually a special education teacher. How you doing, Allison?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know you have to get back to class soon. But, just in the spirit of sharing some of the, personalities of our staffers with our readers and viewers and social media followers, we thought, hey, let's give Allison a call and talk about some of the stuff that you've been doing with us. Why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about what you do as a special education teacher?
Sure. Well, I've been a special education teacher for the last 8 years in the Passaic Public School District. For about 7 years, I worked in the self-contained autism program, and I worked with a variety of students, verbal and nonverbal, from grades 2 to 6. And then this year is my first year as an in-class support teacher in a 6th grade inclusion classroom.
Wow. All right. So you are a seasoned professional at this point. What made you decide to take on a volunteer staff role with Autism on the Seas?
My initial joining or even just applying for Autism on the Seas was just pure curiosity. A friend of mine who does ballroom dancing with individuals in wheelchairs actually found it through many of her travels and sent me the link. My first gut was, this is pretty cool. I could travel and do something I love. But I've continued to go back because it just means so much more than traveling. It's honestly the best feeling in the world.
Wow. That's wonderful. Yeah. So you've been doing it now for 2 or 3 years, you said, and you've racked up, half a dozen cruises at this point?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you have more planned?
I have one scheduled in December, in April, one in August, and I'm waiting to hear about one in July.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. So, before we started the formal interview, we were chit-chatting, and you were telling me a little bit about, your experience as a one-on-one staffer. So, for folks who may be, learning about this or reading this blog for the first time, we offer, staffed cruises where basically, staff, you will be serviced by various staff members. And then the other option is we have a one-on-one staffing option where you're assigned one staffer for your entire cruise. And the last couple of cruises that you did, you were assigned as a one-on-one. Tell us about that family and how that all kind of came together.
Well, I met the family last July on the cruise to Alaska, and there was just an instant connection with the mother, the grandmother, and the little boy, Cole. And the family itself was just such a sweet and outgoing and bubbly family that it was kind of hard not to fall in love with them. Uh-huh. I remember we would rotate each dinner, and whenever I sat with them, it just felt like I was sitting with my own family at the dinner table.
Wow.
And we've continued to cruise together now 2 times after that, and we're trying to book a third relatively soon.
Wow. So you met them and you were not assigned to them, and you just clicked with them, and then when they decided to book their next cruise, they said, hey, we want Allison to be our person.
Yes. She actually messaged me and said, hey, how do you feel about taking some days off in January? And, I made sure that it could work with my work schedule, and we kind of booked it together. And then on that cruise, we actually booked the following cruise that happened this past July.
Wow. Okay.
So we have a nice little January-July pattern going on.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, I'm jealous. So tell me, in just briefly, in your opinion, what is sort of the key difference, or some of the things that stand out in your mind, being assigned as a one-on-one versus just general staffer where you're working with everybody?
You get to know not only the child or the adult that you're working with personality, but you get to know the family personalities really well. You get pretty quickly in tune with their schedules. So if they're going to be, early risers or late risers, what they like to eat at every meal, so you can have it ready for them or for their child. You get a general idea of what they're going to do on the days that we're on ship as well as the days that we're in port. So you can kind of plan your day around theirs. And you can kind of see where you can push them to try new things and where they like to stay in their comfort level. So I took whatever I learned from the first cruise and I kind of pushed them a little further on each cruise that we go on as far as,
right.
as far as comfort levels.
Yeah, that's really helpful. So what would a typical day be like? So what is the son's name?
Cole.
Cole. Okay, and how old is Cole?
Cole actually just turned 10 last week.
Okay, so you've known him since he was, I guess, around 8 or so, right? 8 or 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So have you seen any, changes or developments or surprises with your encounters with Cole on the cruises? Has he done anything, maybe this last time that he didn't do the first couple of times?
Well, the first cruise, I remember he always had to wear his life jacket, and he only likes the hot tubs. He's a little California boy, so he loves warm temperatures. So he loved the hot tubs, and he would only wear his life jacket. But the last 2 cruises, we've gotten him to go in the hot tub or in water in general without it. This last cruise, I got to watch him go into the ocean for only the second time in his life. He definitely likes calmer waters more so than any waters with waves. But the fact that he was even willing to try to go in without the life jacket or without it being, a bubble machine, he was extremely happy.
That's great. So I'm assuming that he is on the autism spectrum?
Yes.
Okay. Is he high functioning, or what are some of his challenges?
He is kind of a selective speaker. He has to warm up to you before he actually starts to talk to you, which I've seen him. It took a long time on the first cruise, and now with each time I see him, he kind of opens up a little more. The first couple of days he goes to respite, he'll be standoffish with everybody, but the more he goes, the more open he gets and willing to participate. He really, really loves Snapchat and videotaping things, so anytime he can try to catch himself on camera or catch somebody on camera, he kind of instantly connects with you.
Was he enthusiastic about trying some of the onboard activities? I don't know if you had the rock climbing or, I know there's a variety of different things. It depends on which cruise you're on.
He is definitely very hesitant at first, but we kind of push him with love. We have tried the rock wall, and that is not his favorite thing. But we've done the water slide once. One time was enough for him. He has done rollerblading. He's done ice skating. He's done the trampoline, which he actually really loved. It just took him some time to get used to having to be harnessed up and kind of attached to this machine. He did the North Star, but he, like I said, his favorite thing to do is go in the hot tub. So if he could spend all day in a hot tub, he would.
Hey, that's fine.
Yes.
If he's happy. So
exactly.
How do you think that your experience as a special education teacher and one who's typically working with children with these types of challenges, how do you think that has played into your effectiveness on these cruises with families?
I think having the background knowledge in, just any students with special needs is extremely helpful in understanding, how a child might react in certain situations. But I think something that this company did for me that I think I needed to get in touch with was my more compassionate, caring side and understanding that not everything is, procedural like it is in a classroom.
Yeah.
Understanding how the families manage throughout their day has been extremely kind of helpful for me as a teacher to see that.
Yeah. Because you're only working with the child every day, and
exactly.
you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, but there's that whole other lifestyle element and the parents, daily struggles,
it made me understand a little more, and it kind of made my heart bigger for these families that I get to encounter.
Oh, that's good. So in your opinion, now you're among other staffers, and, many of them come from diverse backgrounds. Were you surprised at the caliber of your coworkers?
It's honestly incredible when you get to meet people that are doing the same thing you do and, love what they do, and you realize how wide this world is. I've met people who are administrators in special education, which is what I want to be. Mm-hmm. I've met college professors. I've met fellow teachers. I've met, behavior analysts, and it's just incredible to hear us see us be able to get together and work towards a common goal.
Yeah.
And we kind of feed off of each other's energy. For the first time, it's not, completing task analysis sheets or collecting data. It's using our hearts to kind of help these families.
Oh, it's wonderful. And how do you think that the guests feel? Do you think that they're surprised when they kind of learn that, wow, okay, these aren't just kids that are doing this to get a free cruise. These are really professionals.
I think the first day their parents are a little bit confused as to what we're there for. And I know that sounds silly, but we're not only there for the kids or the adults with special needs, we're there to make sure that the families are enjoying their vacation. Mm-hmm. So when parents are like, wow, I can really just check my emails because you're swimming with my child, or wow, I can take a nap during respite, those are things that they're so in shock that we provide to them.
Yeah.
And to us, it's something we take for granted, being able to just do the simple daily things. And they learn to trust us pretty quickly. Some families quicker than others, but once you gain that trust, the family's like, all right, see you in 2 hours. Enjoy respite. I'll be back. And they get to,
gift, right?
Have a vacation.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. You're doing God's work. Listen, Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you that you want to express about your experience with Autism on the Seas?
No, honestly, I did it kind of selfishly at first to get to travel and do something I love, but I keep going back, and most people who cruise with me have seen me cry many times leaving, because it's just the greatest feeling in the world to be able to help a family and to help the children or adults, and it's really something people look their whole lives for, something that makes them happy, and that's genuinely what makes me happy.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking time, Allison. We really appreciate it, and we want to hear more about your future cruises with us.
Thank you.